Hi boys and girls, today for math we are going to be again working with elapsed time. So if you did not get a chance to do yesterday's lesson, Monday's lesson, please make sure that you go back and do that because that is where we learned how to calculate elapsed time. We're going to be doing a different activity with more practice today. So our objective today is I can use a number line to determine elapsed time. So I found this really cute activity on the internet. And this is how to use a number line to calculate elapsed time using mountains and molehills. So you may have heard someone in the past say, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. And what that means is that you should not make something bigger than it really is, okay? So a mole is like a small rodent animal, kind of like a squirrel, and he will build tunnels in the ground, and when he kicks up the dirt, he might kick up dirt that looks like a mountain, a big pile of dirt, or he might kick up a little pile of dirt that looks like a molehill. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. That's why it's called mountains and molehills. It's just a cute way to try to remember it. So this is a mole, okay, and he has a problem. He says if you start walking at 8:30 a.m. and stop walking at 12:30 p.m., how much time has gone by? Use a mountain to keep track of every hour. So his starting time over here at the beginning of the number line is 8:30, and his ending time for his walk is 12:30 p.m. So for every hour between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., he makes a mountain. And how you do that is that you jump 1 hour at a time. So from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. is 1 hour. From 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is another hour. From 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. is another hour. And finally, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. when he ends is another hour. So now we just go back and count how many mountains we have. We have kept track of every hour with a mountain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So from 8:30 to 12:30, there have been 4 hours that have elapsed because we have 4 mountains. So boys and girls, when you're doing your lesson today, if you want to go back and look at this video and look at this example to show you how to use mountains to keep track of hours, please do so. That's why it's here. Okay, so now this is your practice page. We're going to do the top of it together, and then the rest of it is going to be yours to do on your Google Slides today. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the timelines below to keep track of time. We're going to use a mountain for each hour. Okay, so let's start with our first number line. Our starting time is 1 a.m. and the finishing time is 6 a.m. The only thing I can think of that I am doing between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. is sleeping. So I'm going to start by putting 1 a.m. right here at the beginning of my number line, and my ending time is 6 a.m. Okay? And for every hour between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., I'm going to make a mountain. So from 1 a.m., the next hour would be 2 a.m. That's one mountain. From 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., that's another mountain. From 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., that's another mountain. And from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., that's another mountain. And then finally, from 5 a.m. to our ending time at 6 a.m., that's another mountain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains. So between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., we have 5 hours of elapsed time. That's not a long time to sleep. Mrs. Bowen likes to sleep a lot longer than that. So let's move on to the next number line. So the starting time is 5 a.m. and the ending time, the finishing time is 7:15 a.m. 5:15 a.m. is the starting time and 7:15 a.m. is the ending time. So I know there's not a lot of time between those starting and finishing times. So my number line is going to look a little bit different for this one. So I'm going to put 5:15 a.m. over here. And over here, my ending time is 7:15 a.m. So I'm going to make my first mountain. So from 5:15, the next hour will be 6:15, and then the next hour will be 7:15. So I'm only going to have 2 mountains, and they're not going to be so close together like the ones on the first number line. So 5:15 to 6:15, that's 1 hour. And then 6:15 to 7:15, that's 2 hours. So I have 2 hours. So the elapsed time between 5:15 a.m. and 7:15 a.m. is 2 hours. All right, boys and girls, on your Google slide today for your homework, I'm going to enter text boxes for you to enter the elapsed time. Try to use markup to do your mountains on your number lines. If you need to do it on a separate piece of paper, that's fine too, as long as you have the answer in there. All right, please come back to this video if you need to, and good luck with your homework today.